Good morning and welcome to this morning's panel discussion, Factory Logistics, how to make your factory more efficient and save money. From robotic storage systems to improved ERP systems and smart logistics, there's lots of ways of reducing machine downtime now, and storage systems are fairly key to that. This panel is going to discuss the benefits that storage systems bring and where they should be located, or where's the optimum place to locate them in the factory, and how to make the most of them. To my extreme right, we have Todd O'Neill from Optical Control. To his left, we have Jose Luis Sisio from Segi Automation. And to my right, we have Martin Zeebrunner from Memot. So welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to get straight in with my first question. Does at-line or offline storage depend on how big the manufacturer you are? And whether you're doing high mix or not. Now, what I'm really talking about here is, of course, the Memot systems are like storage rooms, whereas both of you gentlemen are building storage towers. So where does it make sense to have a storage room versus a storage tower? Let's start with you, Martin.
It's of course depending on the size of the production, meaning how many reels you have to store or how many components you need to store. There are, typical tower systems. They are in the smaller range, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 reels per storage. Our systems are going much higher, so we can store up to 100,000 systems. With 100,000 reels, but there is a way, of course, from small storage system to grow into the bigger, more automated systems. So there is a full spread of the market, basically, in different applications.
Okay, Jose. Do you have a view on where the storage should be?
Well, our solution today, it's placed as a buffer between the SMT lines and the main warehouse. But actually, we are reaching, and we want to reach a total solution. We think that the automated solution should cover the whole warehouse.
Right.
This is probably the best solution. Today, we think that the best place where to start to have a fast ROI, it's close to the line. Because the line, it's the most expensive equipment we have in SMT production, and if it stops, it's a high cost for the company. If we're able to impede that, and if we're fast to feed the line with with the material, then the payback it's very quick.
Right. Okay. Obviously, you go into a lot of factories, you see machines lying idle. They're not getting fed fast enough. So having storage close to the machine is fairly optimal. Okay. Todd, you're working more in the component inspection side, but you work alongside the storage towers. So is it better for you to have your component inspection, your X-ray inspection next to the storage tower at the line, or do you do it at goods inward?
For us, it really doesn't matter. We just need to count, and it depends on which system they have and how they have their factory set up. Some people have their inventory in a completely separate building, and they go back and forth. So with our machine, it can be directly connected to the machine mechanically with hardware, or it can be connected, just communication. Count the reel and then instantly update their system. There's 1,000 components, update the ERP system. So from our point of view, it doesn't matter where the system is. It should be tied in. It's more efficient for the customer.
Yeah, do you think in the future you're going to see these component counters are going to be integrated into the towers? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is what we actually do. So we work together basically and integrate the optical inspection system directly into the storage system.
Okay.
So that if components are coming back from the line, by example, they get counted before they get into the storage, or in goods entry, of course, as well. And then we can do it also fully automatic, means there is no operator interference in between. Okay. So these are then storage systems which contain fully integrated automatic inventory functions, by example.
And Jose, do you think that's a way that you will be developing your systems?
Absolutely. We are actually showing here at our booth the X-ray optical control machine connected to our systems, so we can automatically count the material which is inside the tower. So it's something we're already doing. We think it's very important because it's otherwise time-consuming to have an operator doing this job manually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you're talking about having storage systems close to the line, but I mean, really, you want the reels to be coming out and going to the kitting area. That's really the area that you're going to interface with, rather than going straight to the machine necessarily. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, our solution is modular. We can either be very close to the line or be in a buffer between the main warehouse and the lines, serving as a kitting area. So we can pull out a kit with the 3 or 4 towers in 10 minutes, 100 reels are out of the towers. So it's very quick and very precise, no errors. We have MSL control. This is very important for us. And as I said previously, this solution for us finds its best when we're kitting and being very close to the line.
Right. Okay. Martin, how important are AVGs in this? You know, I mean, some people are using. I know you've got a system that uses AVGs. I think you all do, really. But are they more efficient than somebody doing it manually?
I mean, yes, they are more efficient, of course, because you can save the manual work. And they are, they are automated. Of course, it needs a certain size. It doesn't make sense for all the productions to go into HEVs. Sometimes, if the travel or the ways are short, it doesn't make sense to put it on an HEV, by example. What we do is we collect several kitting jobs, by example, on one trolley, so that we can do in one way, basically get more material out. So we combine it to get it more efficient, but it doesn't make sense for everybody. What we see a lot is that customers are thinking in that way, but do first the step manually. Right. Say first the optimization in the storage and then on the travel ways. But if we build up a storage system at customers, we already look into the possibility of doing it with HEVs in a second step. Right. So this gets into the consideration to be prepared if you want to go that step.
I mean, Jose, do you have any tangible data showing how much machine uptime people save using automated systems or anything like that?
Honestly speaking, no, unfortunately not. Not because we don't have customers using AGV systems. Actually, we have a nice project in Japan with Hitachi, actually, using our system with AGVs. Bringing material from the warehouse to the towers and from the towers to the lines and back and forth. But the scenario there, it's quite unique. So we're trying now to replicate this at our other customers, like big EMS, global EMS companies, which are looking now for this kind of solutions. And eventually in the next years, we're going to be able to have some data to actually estimate or calculate how much we're saving out of those. It's difficult.
Well, there must be a saving. I mean, because you've got tighter control of the inventory for a start. So there's not so much components getting scrapped because they're going out of past the sell-by date, basically. So there has to be some considerable savings there, I would have thought.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Todd, I mean, you're again in the component counting side, but I mean, what other things are you building into your systems?
Well, our latest machine is an inline machine, but it's very different and it's very flexible. And we've made it so you can start out with a basic machine, but it's got an inline conveyor. And it's not dedicated to other pieces of equipment. So in fact, you could have the machine by itself, and then 6 months down the road, you could easily have an AGV delivering parts to it. So we can have the AGV go to our machine, then directly to the storage systems. And now our new machines are very flexible, so we can connect a single machine to many different types of handling systems, rotating systems, loader and unloaders, robots. So it's a single machine, but ready to be very flexible for any type of connection.
Okay. What about Martin, the interconnection of these systems with your supply chain? And assuming that it all connects up to the ERP system and notifies the component suppliers, etc., when they need to replenish or pull more lines. Is your software set up for this?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we see all kind of interfaces. Basically, it can be interfaced with an MES system, H's or whatever. What we already did. It can be interfaced to, let's say, more systems from pick and place machine manufacturers. ASM is an example where we have direct interfaces, or Fuji, or it can be connected to the ERP, or what we see sometimes also to connect these systems to several software systems, to the ERP, to the MES, depending on the structure the customer has.
Right.
So we basically need to adapt to the customer needs. So the setup what they already have and connect and make the interfaces for them. We have done a lot of interfaces already for several systems, so we have quite a wide range. But most of the time, you need to customize this as well for customers.
Right. Okay. And your systems, I assume you're CFX compliant and working with your systems. Do you do a similar type of traceability?
Yes. Well, we provide data for traceability. Our software is small material management. It's used mostly by medium-sized companies, but bigger companies, they obviously prefer to use a bigger software house like Valor or ETAC or other companies, right?
Yeah.
So we are a slave, which is able, though, to provide traceability data and information to MES systems, and this is very important for us. We have been working since 2016 to open a department on our company just dedicated for interfacing. We know that interfacing is crucial to be able to sell our product. It's impossible to place storage in a company and pretending it to be a standalone product. We need to connect to the ERP system, we need to connect to the SMT lines, we need to connect to the MES system. Right. We have been working a lot with our partner Kojiscan, which is providing connection to the SMT lines, so we're able to connect to Fuji lines, to ASM lines, to Panasonic lines, Juki lines, and this has been a great success for us. Yeah.
Okay, so you're using Kojiscan as a middleware to sort of be able to connect to these different systems.
Yes, we have chosen Kojiscan because of their experience with our systems already starting many years ago in US.
Yeah.
And since 2 years ago, we started a worldwide approach together with them. We're using them to actually connect.
Yeah. It seems to be quite a lot of machine vendors are starting to go that route, I can see. So Todd, in addition to looking for missing components or doing component counting, does your system do anything? Does it look at the polarity of components that are in the reel or anything like that?
Not right now. It's a counting machine. We can do basic inspection of assemblies, cables, mechanical assemblies, but now, as you know, we're part of Nordson, and Nordson's one of the leaders for X-ray, and so now we have a lot of their tools behind us. So in the future, you will see many new things coming to a very flexible machine.
You can't talk about any of these yet.
No, but I think by Apex, you will see some nice features.
Okay, good. So, Martin, Memot is obviously a pick and place manufacturer as well. So, how are we going to solve this area from kitting to the pick and place machine itself? I mean, when we're trying to move towards a lights out factory eventually. I think the biggest bottleneck seems to be how do we actually feed the pick and place machine and automate that process?
Yeah, this is definitely one of the next steps. I mean, this is clearly on the side of the pick and place manufacturers. I mean, we see there's some ideas really to how to feed directly feeders into the machines and things like that. So, of course, Memot used to be a pick and place manufacturer, but more in the, let's say, in the smaller range. So Memot will not follow this trend. This is too much effort, basically. But for the larger line, of course, this will be the case.
Right.
So that we there really go from the kitting station then directly into the machines.
Into the machines.
But this is not, let's say, not on our side. In our opinion, this is more on the side of the pick and place manufacturers to solve this last mile.
I mean, are you been asked, Jose, to be involved with any pick and place guys on any testing, to try and
automatically
automate that part of the process?
Yes, I actually was surprised about that because I see the market is going very fast on that direction to actually adapt the feeding technology to an automated system that can actually mount the reel on the feeders directly from the warehouse, automatically going to the line. That's the total automation, which we were hoping for. Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically what the next step that you guys see has been the future for the industry. Yeah. Well, it's fascinating to see how quickly it's developing, and it was only 5 years ago there was hardly any storage towers on the factory floor. It's become quite a phenomenon. So I want to thank you for sharing your thoughts and your expertise with us this morning. Todd O'Neill from Optical Control, Jose Luis Cisco from Segi Automation.
Thank you very much.
And of course Martin Ziebrunner from Mimot. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.